Lombardo versus Nuraliev, An and Gaiteo, Magavalashvili and Shamilav, and Abe versus Yondon Paren Lai. These are the quarterfinals, the expected matchups at the Olympics, the 66 kg category. Let's go through all the seeds, 1 through 8, see who has beaten who, and I'll give you guys my prediction for the Olympics. So number 1, Lombardo. And Lombardo, he has wins over all sorts of people. He's got wins, 2 wins actually, over An, Magavalashvili, 1 over him, another win over Shamilav. He actually has a win over Abe as well, which is good for him going into the Olympics. The only person to actually have a win over Abe in the top 8, and a win over Yondon Paren Lai. So Lombardo, he hasn't had the best results up until recently, where he got to the final of the World Championships, but I think he's refound his form. Maybe he had a little bit of bad luck in a couple of contests, but he's got a great kataguruma, a nice seoi nage, and some really unique attacks off the sleeve. You're seeing the SHOHEI there, and you saw his osotogari against An earlier on. And this is the score that did it against him against Abe. Will he beat him again? Who knows? Number 2, we've got An from Korea. And An as well, he's got 2 wins over Nuraliev. Also a win over Magavalashvili and 4 wins against Shamilav. So that'll be a really good experience heading into the Olympics. And also 4 wins against Yondon Paren Lai. So An, a true veteran of the game. He sticks to his true Korean style of judo, and always focusing on the grips, breaking grips with the elbows. But he does seem a little undermatched against Lombardo, obviously losing to him twice, and Abe as well. Abe can definitely give An a lot of trouble, but we will see. Number 3, we've got Magavalashvili from Georgia, and Magavalashvili doesn't have that many wins over the top 8. He does have 3 wins against Shamilav, but outside of that, he's just got the 1 win against An. Seed number 4 is Abe. Should be number 1 in my opinion, but he doesn't compete as much as the others on the circuit. And Abe, he has wins over all sorts of people. So 1 against Lombardo, 1 against An, 2 against Gaiteo, 2 against Magavalashvili, 1 against Shamilav, and 2 against Yondon Paren Lai. Now Abe, he hasn't faced Nuraliev, but I don't like that matchup for Nuraliev very much. Abe, there's only a few people in the world that can beat him. Lombardo, obviously beating him once, so that is an interesting contest, but outside of MARUYAMA, Abe looks to be unstoppable and definitely the favorite heading into the Olympic Games. It is interesting though, Abe and Lombardo destined to meet in the quarterfinals, so I think that will probably play out to be the winner in the gold medal, and I'm probably picking Abe to take that one in the quarterfinal. Next, we've got Yondon Paren Lai, and he's such a Mongolian superstar. I really love his tenacious style of judo. Really incorporates a lot of Mongolian style judo in there. And Yondon Paren Lai, he's got 4 wins across 4 of the top 8 seeds. So 1 against Nuraliev, 1 against An, 1 against Gaiteo, and 1 against Shamilav as well. Coming up a bit short against some of the higher seeds in Lombardo and Abe though, and Magavalashvili as well. Hasn't got a win against him as well. And next up we've got Shamilav times 2. There's actually 2. 1 from Israel, 1 from Russia. And someone's going to hate me for doing this, but I do think one of them has a better record than the other, and it's not the number 6 seed. Shamilav, the Russian, he's got a win over Lombardo. He's got wins over Yondon Paren Lai. The other, Shamilav from Israel, has a win over Magavalashvili and also wins over Gaiteo. Gaiteo, number 7, he's an interesting character. really strong, lights his newaza, but from all the top 8, he's got the worst record against each of them. And obviously a lot of other guys have many wins against him. So he has the win over Nuraliev and Shamilav, but that is it. And then on the other end you've got Abe beating him twice, and Yondon Paren Lai with a win over him as well. So I think his tachiwaza needs a bit of work. He's strong with the newaza, but I think he'll be able to bully some of the skinnier dudes in the division, but we'll see how he goes. And number 8, Nuraliev from Uzbekistan. Got that wonderful coach, Ilyas Iliadis, behind him. Recently, he's had some decent results, and I think that has contributed to his seeding. Obviously, the closer your wins are to the competition time, the points don't decay. But I do think he's still a little bit green, doesn't have those outstanding wins against the top 8. He does, however, have a couple of wins that are a little bit outstanding. So one over An, one over Magavalashvili, and one over Shamilav, but not getting anywhere near Abe, Yondon Paren Lai, or Lombardo. And before I get into my predictions for the category, I want to have a look at a couple of wild cards. I obviously talked about Shamilav, who is from Russia and sitting at number 9. I think he could go far. There's also Safarov, who is in the bracket from Azerbaijan, a really good competitor as well. There's also Minku from Belarus, who recently got a good win over Gaitero. And how can we forget Zantaraya? But I do think Zantaraya, he's kind of one of those skinny people that I talked about, and I think he will struggle against some of the stronger guys, some of the guys who cut a lot more weight to get down to the category. But you never know. He's got great newaza, and he might be able to pull an upset. I wouldn't call it an upset if Zantaraya won, but he might be able to take out one of the top seeds. So here is my prediction for the 66 kg category. And I do think, unlike the 60 kg category, there are a couple of guys outside of the top 8 seeds that have a possibility of getting through the quarterfinals. And who knows, they might upset the entire contest. But this is how I do see things going. So quarterfinal 1, Lombardo takes it over Nuraliev. I think that's a pretty easy one to predict, but you never know. An, I think he's going to get it over Gaitero. They haven't met before, but just the way I saw Abe kind of dispatch of Gaitero, I think An will do something similar, use the ashiwaza, use the gripping, and I don't think it will go to the ground. Next, Magavalashvili. He will take out Shamilav, potentially. He does have 3 wins over Shamilav, so that is good experience for him going into that contest. And of course, Abe beating Yondon Paren Lai twice. So I think unless there's a huge upset, Abe's going to go through in that quarterfinal. This then means that Abe and Lombardo are going to meet in the semifinals, and I would have to pick Abe for that one in their last contest. I think he showed that he has the upper hand, and that one kataguruma, maybe it might have just surprised Abe a bit, and I think he would be ready for it the second time. Semifinal 2, I'm going to pick An over Shamilav, because An has 4 wins over Shamilav, and I think that dominance will continue. It's very rare that people kind of flip the switch on someone who has beaten them that many times. And that means that An and Abe would meet in the final, and seeing that Abe has beaten An before, and I think Abe likes the style of judo that An would bring to the table, very similar to Japanese judo, and Abe would take gold. So guys, that's it for me. What do you think of my predictions? Have I missed anyone? Do you think the wild cards are going to get through the quarterfinals? I don't, but that is me. Things get pretty interesting from 73. Obviously, Ono is not in the seeding, so we're going to have to consider that, and I will have that video out soon. Alright guys, like and subscribe, and I'll see you later.